Ubisoft delays a big game while Capcom still has a major unannounced title planned for before April 2024. We got PlayStation news, Far Cry and Assassin's Creed leaks, so really a ton to go over in this gaming news roundup video. But let's start with a new outfit for Batman Arkham Knight. Yes, a Robert Pattinson batsuit namely appeared in the game out of nowhere and was then quickly removed. But luckily Batman Arkham Videos was able to capture the suit and show it. It's looking very good, only the suit was added, by the way, not the Batmobile, although again it only appeared in the game briefly before being removed. So it will likely be coming later through some sort of way. There's an Arkham trilogy dropping on Switch on December 1st, so people think that it might have to do with that. My prediction though is that this is a pre-order bonus for Suicide Squad, so that if you pay upfront for that new Rocksteady game, you get the suit in their most recent release. Just speculation, totally not something that I hope they will do, but that I can see them do, as it would push more people to get Suicide Squad, and that game can use all the help it can get, of course. Maybe you forgot about it, but the game should release on February 2nd, 2024, so high chance they will make a comeback this year, probably at the Game Awards on December 7th, and it will be fascinating, I think. Like, I'm really curious what they changed, if anything, with the almost 1 year extra development time and how they're going to market it. It would be awesome to have this come out and surprise us all, but that most recent gameplay with the uninteresting enemies and purple weak spots, the fact that every character uses guns so likely won't feel that different, and of course the big live service focus, there's just a ton of red flags. Now, I want to remain open-minded. I hope they prove us otherwise. Let me know what your stance on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is in the comments down below, and I will of course keep you up to date here. Now, something else I'm super curious about, and that we will likely see revealed at the Game Awards as well, is the major unannounced title Capcom still has planned for before the end of March 2024. Like, it's not Dragon's Dogma 2 that was actually playable at Tokyo Game Show a month ago. I think it looks very promising. That game is also planned for 2024, but of course already announced. So it could really only be either a new Resident Evil, although we of course just had the Resident Evil 4 remake this year, and seems like that series is now on a 2-year cadence, with Resident Evil 8 launching in 2021, and there are rumors about Resident Evil 9 being planned for 2025. So that really only leaves Monster Hunter as a possible candidate for a major Capcom game. It has almost been 6 years since the launch of Monster Hunter World, which kinda crazy to think about. Now we of course had Monster Hunter Rise after that for the Switch, and it later came to other platforms, but those portable first titles are made by a different team inside Capcom, so high chance that after World and the Iceborne DLC for that game, the console Monster Hunter team has been focused on creating a brand new PS5, Xbox Series and PC title. Iceborne launched in September 2019, so this would be enough time to have a new game ready in early 2024, like Monster Hunter World 2 or Paradise or whatever they will end up calling it, won't need a long marketing cycle, and maybe announcing it earlier would have taken away from Dragon's Dogma 2 that now had its own spotlight for a while. A new Monster Hunter game would totally be a banger start of the year for sure. I hope it launches in March, as February is already looking pretty crowded. And we now learned about more titles that moved to that early 2024 window. I will go over that and way more news, of course. If you like these roundup videos, leave a like, that would be appreciated. And subscribe, because I post one of these every Sunday. So Ubisoft had their investor call, and one of the biggest things that came out of that is their lineup from now till the end of March 2024. Skull and Bones is now planned for either January, February or March 2024, for real this time, I guess. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is still December 7th. I actually got to play it recently, and I will have a video about my impressions up very soon, so stay tuned for that. X-Deviant is also noted here with an early 2024 window, now more likely. It was first planned for this summer, but they ran into some issues and want to have the launch as good as possible for players on every platform. But yeah, one thing is missing from this lineup, and that is the one more large game that Ubisoft first had planned to launch by April 2024. So they never really said what that game was, but it was very likely Star Wars Outlaws, and yeah, as I discussed before, it was probably never realistic to have this game out in March of next year. I'm totally fine with that, let them take their time. So now we just got an April 2024 till March 2025 window for it. Like, my guess is either May or September, so so it won't collide with Assassin's Creed Red that we know is planned for the end of 2024, likely in that usual October-November window. And well, the writer on the game was a bit too excited as he updated his LinkedIn banner with a new look at the game. It was up for a few days before he switched it back to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like, I always wonder how these oopsies are made. Like, you must know that your game is still not properly revealed right before updating your banner. Either way, thanks to this, we now got a first look at one of the two main characters for the game, and according to French YouTuber Jonathan, who has been right many times before, she's called Naoe. Although things could of course still change, as Eivor was first called Jorah. But yeah, as I told you before, the rumors are now that there are two playable characters again, similar to Syndicate. She's the more agile ninja type character, while we should also have a male samurai. They both exist in the world and we should be able to switch between them. They likely play a bit different and have hopefully a ton of different skills to make them really feel unique from each other. And I still sometimes see some questions about it because we of course got many Assassin's Creed games announced, but that really big RPG similar to Odyssey, it's also made by the Syndicate and Odyssey team, and I think it could be cool to now have two characters to make builds for and find gear for and to upgrade. It sounds exciting to me, but yeah, unless another developer posts like art or stuff online, it will likely be a while before we get another official update. Although worth noting is that they might do things different this time, as the game is of course already announced, while they normally announce new Assassin's Creed games like months before they come out. And during the investor call, Ubisoft said that the hype for Mirage actually caused people to buy and go back to the older games, which caused them to make more money than expected. So maybe having an early reveal party for Red might be beneficial for Ubisoft, because then maybe more people go back to Origins, Odyssey, etc. I will of course keep you up to date here. We also got a Far Cry leak, but first some PlayStation news. Connie Booth, who has been at Sony for 34 years. You see all the games that she worked on right here, like its most big PlayStation exclusives, so it's pretty big that she's now gone. There's no official reason as to why. The rumor is that she got fired because she could not manage to shift to the live service focus. I talked about this before, but Sony wants 10 live service games by March 2026, although that was at least the plan. And not every PlayStation studio was seemingly happy with this shift, and when The Last of Us multiplayer game got put on ice, it was the straw that broke the camel's back. This according to David Jaffe, who of course worked at Sony for a long time, was the creative director on God of War 2 back in the day, and he was also the first to break the news, which was then later confirmed. But yeah, it's still not clear if this was blamed on Connie, so that's why she was fired, or if there was something else going on. At least the live service push is not going well behind the scenes either. And we now got a verified user on Reset Era, Sal Romano, Mr. Gamatsu, noting that the scuttlebutt is Sony is reversing course and using third party to catch up on some IPs. So instead of having their premier studios work on the live service games, they're now seemingly asking third parties like Sega to, for example, make a Wipeout game, and Bandai Namco to also use a Sony IP for an online title. Will be a while before we see this though, but yeah, I think it's a smart idea. It seems to then not hurt the single player output from a Santa Monica, for example, if they do not have to work on a live service game. But yeah, we will still see those types of titles from, for example, Sucker Punch. I totally think they will do a Ghost of Tsushima Legends type experience, as we already know that Guerrilla Games is making a Horizon online game as well. I'm curious to hear your takes, of course, but yeah, with Jim Ryan also leaving early next year, it does seem that things will change inside Sony again. Like, Jim Ryan was mostly behind the live service push. They had a huge success with the PlayStation 5 so far, but with Microsoft making some big moves, they got to try new things as well to stay ahead. And I will of course be following it and keep you up to date right here. Now that Far Cry leak, so I touched on Far Cry 7 that seems to be planned for fall 2025 before, but we will also get a standalone multiplayer game codenamed Project Maverick. It's understood that the Far Cry multiplayer project has changed the scope several times over its several year development cycle, with Ubisoft now set on the game being an extraction-based shooter set in a fictional Alaskan setting named Alashnica, and I hope I pronounced that right. So the idea is to hunt animals to, for example, craft gear, do challenges inside the open space to level up and unlock perks, and then become stronger, and at one point like extract things, so you actually get to keep it, and then it will be sent to your hideout. If you die though, but did not extract the things that you were carrying, you will lose it. You can play it solo or in a team. It's not like the Far Cry experience that I in particular am looking for, but it will be like the first one seemingly on the Snowdrop engine, so the Division engine that is also used for Avatar, for example. Should be next gen only, of course, and a release date is currently penciled in for April 2025, with the game planned to go in alpha in the first half of 2024. So it might actually be revealed next year, which could be interesting. But yeah, that's still far away. Let's look at what will be happening this coming week. Again, I said I played Avatar, so look forward to my impressions on that. There will be an Assassin's Creed Mirage update as well, so I will keep you up to date and cover that. And we will also have more Spider-Man 2 videos. Really appreciate the support on those videos, by the way. They have been a ton of fun to make as well. It is sometimes hard, though, to combine a game's launch with a Sunday news video. Last week, there was also not a lot of news. I will try to make it every week, but sometimes, yeah, it just might not be possible, and it's just better for us to focus on a new game launch. Either way, subscribe if you are new, of course. A like would be awesome. And check out my previous video on the DLC and updates that are planned for Spider-Man 2 by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.